Hey guys, welcome to the show. I actually think I may not be on the line in. That could be a problem. Could be entertaining. If I'm on the ground mic, I'm sorry. I forgot to do the switch over before the show, and I know that if I don't do the switch over prior to the show, I can't do it afterwards. So can't tell if you guys are hearing me or not. Can't tell if you guys are watching me or not. So anyway, okay, we got two things on our plate today. Going to be doing an icon for David Coile, who's a buddy of mine who does music, and he's kind of cool in that way. I can't tell if you can hear this or not. Boy, it sure does look like it's low, doesn't it? That looks like it's low. I can't tell. I'm having a tech morning this morning. So anyway, we're going to be doing that. We're also going to be working on Ron Fortier's pieces today. But we're going to work on Ron Fortier's pieces. Yes. That's totally what's happening today. You just didn't know that. So, I hear the music, but I can't tell whether it's playing or not. Okay. So, what I want to do first, until I see David up here. Oh, there you are, David. There you are. I can read you. That seems kind of weird. Can you read me? Yes, I can read you. Should I say loud and clear? Or would it be like bright and, I don't know, sharp and, I don't know. So, we're going to be working with David Coile, who's right now in this thread. So if you're in the thread with David, you can say hi to David. David, can you hear the music? That's the question. Can you hear the music, or am I coming in through the what is obviously the ground mic on my camera? Oh, good. Good. Okay. Literate and bold. There we go. I read you literate and bold. There we go. That works for me. Literate and bold works. Okay, so no music though. Well, there's that. So one of the things that happens with Restream is I have to select the line in every time so that it'll come from my microphone. But if I forget to do that before the show and then hit go, it absolutely will not switch to line in. It will only switch to either. Yes, and you will hear my voice loud and clear, but once I face my monitor, it gets a little muddled. Not impossible, but just kind of a little muddled. So that's all right. That's all right. We'll work on this. This is a bug that I've put in to Restream to have them work on it. So we'll be working on that. So let's go on ahead and start the show here. We're going to do that. So I've got you just sent a whole bunch of pictures to my phone. And it takes a little bit of effort to get from my phone down. So I'm going to use them as inspiration and see if we can't figure something out that works similar to these pictures. And this is nothing. Yes, I will be just like the teacher in the Charlie Brown cartoon. They used what was it? They used a flugelhorn with a trombone muffler in it, or something like that. I remember reading somewhere that they used. No. It's not. It's fine. It's fine. This is my fault, not yours. I've sworn off of Facebook, and so I've got a little messenger app that runs on my computer, but it makes a lot of noise. every time you get a message, it, you know, bing, 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 bang, 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 and it picks up in the show. So I shut it down, and I shut down my email prior to the show, so that they won't sit there and bing, 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 bing in the middle of my show. So that's all. I'll get to it. And if we, oh, I really, you know what I really like though? I like this one. This picture is my favorite one because it looks like you got hit in the head with a big bright ball right in your forehead. That's beautiful. That one's my favorite one of the lot. I know what you were headed for, but I still think it was my favorite one of the lot. Okay, but I'm using the pictures here, and I'm going to see what I can do to just take the inspiration of what we've got going on here. And if it really comes down to it that we don't like it, I'll switch it out. I'll bring up the Messenger app here and let it bing, 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 and stuff like that. So we'll see what we got. We'll see what happens. I feel like I'm talking to you there. I feel like I sound like you whenever I say. We'll see what happens. It sounds kind of like you. Okay. For those who are watching, also, I'm using Clip Studio Paint for this one, and the reason I'm using Clip Studio Paint on this one is last night I was watching a couple of YouTube videos and learned some tricks about Clip Studio Paint that I'm really into the idea of. So I want to try to do this. I've got a stabilizer on now, which should help, but also make the brim shorter because I think you wanted a shorter brim. One of the things that we got going on here is that with the stabilizer, it stabilizes the line work so that it doesn't fly out too terrible much here. So I'm just going to follow the contours. Did you want to have a goatee in this? Is that important? I mean, because we can do that. It is a good photo. This makes you look distinguished, not extinguished, naturally. Let's do a brush size on this eraser here. Vector brush just takes out that entire vector there, right? So, go back. Oop, stop. I switched to pen, G pen, and stabilization's on. There you go. Goatee is probably better. Okay. You got it, Chief. Okay, what's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. There we go. Okay, back to work here. So we'll just follow the line of your face there, which is actually probably here. And what I can do is I'll get rid of that line in a minute, and I'll show you what I discovered last night. I'll make this, just going to do this number so that we can kind of get an idea of where we're headed here. Alright, it must be kind of weird to watch somebody draw your face. I think I'd be weirded out a little bit by it too. There we go. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to describe in your glasses. There we go. remove these if we want, but they add a certain amount of mystery to this piece as well. There you go. There we go. And take some guidance from what we've got going on here. Right? So, now that I've done that, I'll just come down here, grab your neck a little bit there. We got that, we got that, we got that. Okay. Around here, make sure that's in. That's in. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at what we've got. So, we can take this and start working with it. One of the things that I have learned is this adjust line function, which makes me just so happy. I cannot tell you how. So we take this, and it allows me to just take a line like that one and scale it up like that. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Right? I can even take like part of a line and scale it up so that it gets thicker as it comes around the corner. That's just so cool. I didn't even know I could do that. But first things first, let's do some cleanup. This line goes away because we don't need that line. And right in here, these lines need to kind of be redone a little bit. So I'm going to kind of do that. Because I'd rather have this be more up to the intersection. Make this kind of come through here like that. Just do this. Blend it. There we go. So what I'm doing here is just making it look like hair. We'll figure it out a little bit better if we need to here in a minute. Now what we've got here is we're just going to describe in parts of your ear and stuff like that, so we can get that. There we go. So now we're looking at just literally the line work that we've got for you. Now, what we can do is take on top of this and I'll put a raster layer on. And this way, I can just sort of show kind of where we're headed on this. Bring up a lot of brush size. We can definitely bring in and really sharpen out like this. By the way, this is on a separate layer, so don't worry, we're not ruining any of the art by doing this. We're just doing this to sort of get an idea of what's going on. Right? Just very dramatic black shading in through here. I'm just going to do this number right through there. And then I'm going to go around like this. Originally, my thought was to do this so that it looks very scary. Hang on real quick. Don't judge it yet. There's some cleanup work we're doing here. We're just cleaning up the line work right through here. I'm going to get back in here with this pen. Go through here like this. And I'm giving you this backlight here. Why, thank you. I love your name, but I don't speak Korean, so I unfortunately cannot read it. I can speak Japanese and I can read Chinese, but sadly, I'm just starting Korean, so I'm still very new to Korean. It's very cool, though. And as a side note, I'm very glad that my the chat window can give me Korean characters. That definitely is a add in here. And we'll just give you some shading through here. What we're doing is we're just adding a lot of drama to this particular piece. You're welcome. Are you actually coming in from Korea? Because it's nighttime there, isn't it? It is. Yeah, it's like really early in the morning there. If you're coming in from South Korea, where are you calling in from? I have quite a few friends there. I've got actually yeah, the person I'm talking to right now, David, is talking to me on Twitch, and so I'm seeing him on my Twitch page. It's midnight there. Are you coming in from Seoul, or where are you calling in from? My friend David is the one who we're drawing here, and he's actually on the Facebook page, and so he can't see your posts there, and so oh, out in the countryside, like oh, I love and the Korean countryside is very pretty. I love Korea's countryside. It's still my battle plan to get to Korea someday. I have a friend who's in, I think she's in Daegu. I'm not sure. But she teaches there. I used to teach in Japan, and she used to be one of my co-teachers in the area where we were. Okay. So what I've done is just kind of cleaning up the artwork here. Right? So we've got kind of this going. Korean countryside's pretty. Was it hot today over there in Korea? Aren't you guys are getting a lot of heat over there? It's getting kind of warm. Like the upper 40s. That's what I heard. There we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning this up. Now, if I bring this up to full opacity, we've got a very dramatic. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on here. This is going to be a logo for my friend David Coile. He's a musician here. I'm out of Denver, Colorado. And so he's a local musician here in Colorado. And thank you. He's got a little radio show he's doing as a podcast called Very Scary. Oh yeah, it's about 33. Yeah, 33 is still too hot for me. But sadly, I think it's, well, let's see what it is right now. It's 23 right now here. So, and climbing. They're saying that 32 is what the high will be here in Denver. So I do love doing this stuff. This is a lot of fun. But my dear friend David needs a logo for his radio show, and it's supposed to be, mystical and not mystical, but mysterious, right? So I'm putting him in this sharp relief, very sharp black coloring, so that it's just dramatic, very dramatic. So it is good. Depending on, I don't know how far inland you are, but we don't get any humidity here, so there's no water in our air. So 32 isn't as bad here as it is there. Everywhere, 32 degrees was too much for me when I lived in Tokyo. That was too much. And I know that there's not much difference in climate between Korea and Japan. It's just all wet. I've got a friend who's in Beijing, and he says that it's just miserable there when it gets up into the upper 30s. It just gets really, really unpleasant. But I'm a Colorado guy. Up here, we've got mountains, and we're already, I think we're 8,000 meters up here. So it's the humidity that'll kill you. But here in Colorado, we're already 8,000 meters where I am, so above sea level. So it's really nice, and I don't have to put up with humidity. I will visit Korea in the winter. And I will go back to Japan in the winter. That's what we're going to do. I've already made this decision. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little bit more shadow in here. Like that. And give some shadow there. So what we're doing here is I'm just making this look more like a mustache. And give some shadow here too, just some depth, right? And then we'll need to come down here and do the same thing. We're going to have to kind of give the neck a little bit of, so that you've got some shadow work down here as well. There we go. Kind of bummed that my music didn't work, David. Yes. Humidity is rough. My father lives in Houston, where it's also humid. And sometimes we'll get up to like 40. and 42, 43. I don't visit my dad in the summer either. I visit him only during the winter. Here we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I need to give like the highlight of the backside of the across the back here of the goatee. I'm going to do that. Right? There we go. Just like that. That way you can see it. Right? Oh yeah, it's just a shame you can't hear what music I'm using after all this work. So uh, I'm trading with David. So I'll be doing his logo, and in trade, he's going to do some nice music so that I can have music during the show here. Normally, I have music, and I run on this microphone right up here, which you can kind of see. But there's a glitch with Restream, which is the program that I use for this, that allows me to broadcast to Facebook and to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time. And so there's a glitch. So I can't turn on my microphone once I've started broadcasting. I have to stop broadcasting and restart, and I'll lose you guys if I do. I think it's much better in a dramatic shade as well. I think this looks much more noir. So the style I was going for, David, is noir. Um, so what do we think as far as this for just starting our logo out? Are we kind of, well, thank you. Light and shadow is so much fun to play with. Um, when I teach people to do art, one of the things I teach is to do uh, the what we call a value drawing, where you just draw just the shadows. You know, you take a dramatic light and you just draw just this shadow area right here. You know how it's sort of going along like this. I gotta figure out how to do that. There we go. And then just draw the shadows, and it gives a great effect, but it also teaches you the contours of the face. There you go. So, I mean, if we were to just put a circle around this, like of some sort, we could almost use this by itself for the logo. I need to go back into my vector lines. So this is my vector side here, and everything on the vector line is, gee, it's huge, like that. It's too thin. Not helping it. So we've got the thing I wanted to really work with Clip Studio Paint is it allows me to do stuff like, once I get in here, I can control the points on these, which is an amazing thing. I've never seen the ability to adjust actual drawing before, but I can adjust the drawings in Clip Studio here. I can see already I've got too many lines through here that kind of wiggle back and forth. So then I can do that, and then I can just take this vector and cut, right? It's amazing to me. I'm still amazed by that. But that allows me to do all kinds of great things, and I was shocked to discover this. The other thing we can do, though, in here, when we do adjustment, is we can adjust the line width. I'm going to scale up the width on some of this. So like here, I want that to be a little thicker, like that. And then like right here, I'm going to make that a little thicker as well. And all of this needs to be thicker. This gives us a little bit, no, don't do that. This gives us a little bit of like weight to these things so that it feels like that's a heavier weight. I know, I'm having so much fun with this drawing program. I learned about this last night on YouTube, so I'm all excited about this. I'm like, oh, look what I can do. Look at the damage I can cause. Nope. Got to be careful with your glasses and just hit that bottom line there. There you go. If I tap the very edge of it, I get like this really neat, more thick through here and stuff like that. But I don't like, what I am not liking there is a convergence of, this is a converging tangent. It means that the lines have gone together. So I want to take that converging tangent out. See, just like that. Now I've got to structure this guy so he doesn't look so weird. But move this over like that. There we go. There. So, I'm getting a little bit, like I've got two different lines there. Looks like I have two different lines. So let's straighten those lines out. This line here, which I think needs to just pull back like that. That would help us pull. And this guy's kind of floating around weirdly. There we go. This guy just ends weird. So what I'm doing now is adjusting the points on this very strange, and I can't even believe that we're doing this, vector line. I'm going to go ahead and drag all these guys out like this. Then I can hit it with the eraser. Right? And it just goes away. To be fair, and I appreciate that, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So this clean line is what I was after there. And that looks so much better. So, now we've got a lot of good thickness in some of the bottom parts of the jaw. The line gets thicker, looks a little bit more stylish. This guy here, I'm going to bring down a little bit more so that he becomes more like this. And that'll give us sort of the effect of your shirt here, kind of coming around like this. Like that. Wish I hadn't done two lines there. It becomes fascinatingly difficult when you've got two different lines. One line here and one line here. So now I got to figure out how to navigate this line out. Because he's in the way. He's not helping me. He's not helping me at all. So he gets knocked out of the way, like this, and then I'll come in here with the eraser and just hit it like that. And I'll come back in with this guy, bring it in like that. This. I'm still not accustomed. Yeah, it fits better, I think. So, I'm not accustomed, though, to drawing in this mode. So, I'm still kind of new at drawing in this mode. But I'm having fun with this. So, I'm going to adjust the line width. I want to thicken up right through here. Just that one, right? And then we're going to scale down the width right through here. There we go. And that gives it some drama to the line gets dramatic there and drops down. And that's what we want. So this is giving a little bit more artistic value to it. I'm scaling up the width over here like this so that it all blends in with that black area down here. And now it's looking more like a logo or an icon of some sort, right? So this is how we kind of make that effect happen. The problem, of course, with the vector drawing is that you can't fill with vectors. So I'm going to have to come over here. I have to leave some of this right here. This line right there. Just like that. There we go. Now I'm feeling like we're... Yes, that's actually exactly what I do. I will. So David asked if I sketch stuff and then ink it on Clip Studio, and the answer is yes. That's exactly what I do. Clip Studio has some functions that are really cool, and I really like them. One of them is that it has little 3D models that you can put in there to give you an idea of what's going on. I'll illustrate that in a second. But yeah, I'm liking where we are here. I'm just going to go on ahead and call this one good if you're okay with this one, David. We'll call this one a good start. I'd like to do circles and things like that around it, but I'm not 100% sure if I can easily do that. Let's see. Worried I won't be able to adjust this. Let's go from here. That. Right, because if we do that, then I wonder if I can add... We'll put this on a different layer. Add a new raster layer. I will add... So this is where we run into the, and I'm not sure what to do. How do I do this? And you just selected that. That's not much. So I've got oh, I can just fill it. You're going to say, oh no, what did he just do? Yes, that's what I'm headed for. So, one of the things I'm thinking of doing here, let's do select, deselect, right? So what if we were to go in here and just take the eraser tool, just erase around you like this. This will take a second for you to see what I'm up to. But my thought here is come up like this, and come down like this. Okay, don't fall asleep there. I'm going to just come down like this here. We're just going to, I'll get back to filling that out in a second. But first, this is an experiment, so let's see whether this works or not. It may not. It may decide this was a bad idea. We'll have to see. The good news is I put it on its own layer, so I don't have to worry about it. Just like that. this big. Ooh, not that big. Thought process here is this might be very dramatic like that too, right? Yeah, that's a good point. He thinks more depth to the eyes. What do we think? I think you might be right. I think more depth to the eyes might be something we need. I'll go in here and work on these eyes here. That's solid. Maybe, I don't know if I want to put, black in here. Like, make the eyes actually look like they've got. David's eyes are blue, so he's not going to get a lot of, it's not going to be like this. Right, which we could do. Make him not look soulless. When we talk about a musician who's like a folk musician, gotta say, soulless is not a word that comes to mind. Definitely. I love his music. His, there we go. That might be better. What do we think, guys? Do we think that works? More depth? Do we think we need to put black shading into the eyes? Like, should I put the black through this part too? That's a good question. So I'm liking where we're going through on this side. The question really is right here. Well, it's true, though. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I agree we need more depth in the eyes. Though. I think, what I think we should do is, since it is on my vector layer, let's scale up through there. And that kind of makes it look like you got a black eye. I don't know if it was a good idea. That may not have gone over so well. Shading under the eyes. Well, that's the problem. We've got to be kind of careful not to make you look like you're tired. When you have simple lines to describe something like this, it's easy to make you look like you're tired. All I need to do is add a line like that and you look tired, right? So tired. So tired. One of the things I say routinely in my show is one line can mean a lot, and one line can say a whole lot too. Right? So we don't want to add too many lines under there, but I do want to know whether, we can just we'll add a layer. Just add in a raster layer, and then we can remove this if we think. That's true. Jerry McCrary is a little weary. Should we say wary? I'm just saying. Okay, I'm going to try this. We're going to try to come in here and see what happens if I bring in this black shadow in here. Just do this. Come back down a little bit now. Out like that. Let's do it there. Come back in and just draw it like this. Let's see what we get. I don't know whether I like that or not. I mean, I like that. That's maybe we can fix it more. We're coming Yeah. And I'm not sure I like this. I think you're in agreement with me. I don't think I like this as much. I've got coming in on Twitch. I'm like, you don't like it. I don't think I like it. Okay. So, first things first, though, I do see why it's fixed right there. So I had my eraser set for vector. So it didn't quite. Yeah, I think so too. I think I like that. I think that's where I like it to be too. We're seeing your eyes, right? One thing though, when I look at this though, I know that we had a guide up here for an eyebrow, and I'm wondering if that wouldn't help. So let's look up here and see if I can't just give a little bit of the eyebrow right through here. Just enough that you can see that there's an eyebrow up there, right? So like that. Like it sticks out just a little bit into the light. Because there is a second light source. If you look at the way that this picture is designed, you've got what we call a key light, which is the primary light from the left side. So we've got this key light coming in from the left. But we have a very, very, very stark, what we call a hair light, because it lights the hair. And the hair light is obviously coming from back here, from behind, over here somewhere. So I'm looking at what structures are going to be lit up by this key light and this hair light. Well, this part of the face isn't involved at all in the hair light. But I am noticing his ear is probably his. Like, it's not like we're not talking about you, David. But let's talk a little bit, because the ear here probably ought to be like this. Right? We're not gonna. That. Right? Just kind of come back through here and erase. Ooh, that's too much. So we're trying to kind of catch What would and would not be lit up by a key light back here? By a hair light, sorry. Hair light. There we go. We're just cleaning up this area a lot. Because now we've got a whole bunch of lousy lines. My stabilization is not helping as much when you're kind of trying to get around these corners here. Front part of the ear right there. There we go. There. Better. Little shade on the right eye. So you're thinking this eye or this eye? We were so from the Twitch channel, the recommendation is a little bit more shading on the right eye. So David's right eye would be this eye, or the drawing's eye, which is this eye. So David's eye or the drawing's eye. Are we talking about the eye in here? Because that's what I'm worried about too. Now, you know one thing we could do? That's true. It does seem like he's wearing a mask. Like he's some kind of maniacal, masky person. So let's go back in here and let's try one more time in here. Maybe if we just did some. Like instead of doing all of this, maybe something more like this. And come back through that. Like maybe his glasses are reflecting in. Let's see if that helps. That helps some. Drawing side. Okay. So that helps some. I agree. That helps a little bit. I think that fixes a little bit of our problem. I'm going to come back in here like this as well. I feel like we'll follow your eye a little bit more. There we go. More like that. Not liking the teardrop. You don't think you want to be a crying, very scary Jerry McCrary crying? Get rid of the teardrop. Teardrop, fine. I'm okay with that. I think that's better too. What do we think over there, David? Yeah, he didn't like the teardrop. Okay, what do we think, David? Are we good there? Do we feel like that's better in the eye there? Teardrop. Okay, good. Then maybe we'll keep this shading in there, that seems like that's good. One of the other things I'm noticing is the hat. The hat either needs to come down here or come up there. I think it needs to come down over here. So I'm going to fix that real quick. Right here. First things first, let's clear out this zone. All right. Now we're going to go back to my vector layer. We are humoring. We are being humorous here. Apparently, we are being very funny. The teardrop was a great one. And I'm just going to bring this down to, I think here's where I want it to be. Right? And that's what I'm looking for, I think. Yeah. That way the curve of this hat now matches like it would come out the other side. You know what I mean? Kind of want that to happen on the other side there. All right. Bring in that shadow. Oh yeah, that much better. Much better. Much, much, much better. No teardrops. Oh, why, thank you. Why, thank you. I've practiced it for a while. My nice hat curve. Just kind of make that hat work. Work it. Work the hat. Work the hat. Okay. I'm going to move up here. And just... So the brim, I want the brim to go, or the hat band, I want it to go just a little bit further, like that, and that makes it look like it's standing forward a little more in the light. So that gives a little bit more of the, not that much though. Just like this. There. That just makes it look like it's a different layer from the background of the hat. So we got that good curve there for that. Okay, I feel like we're doing very good now. I feel like we've got a good icon. You do have quite a bit of a, what's his name, white look to you here. I mean, you look like you could be, in theory, getting in. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like we've gotten a good, solid piece. So this will be the logo that my friend David will be using for his podcast, Very Scary with Jerry McCrary, which is a sort of a funny podcast. It's somewhat not serious. I think it's really actually a lot not serious, to be honest. So that's the piece we are working on. Well, yeah, you are, but I don't think you're necessarily. That's not the white that I was talking about. What's his name from Breaking Bad? Kind of look like that a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Got that serious look. You look all serious. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. What we'll do then, the next stage for this is I'll get the copy that I want from you. So David, make sure you've got the right words. It is a comedy show. It's totally a comedy show. Make sure we've got the right words, and we'll put that as a loop around the outside edge. As much as I love Clip Studio Paint, one of its downfalls is text. It is not good at text. Walter White. That's where I was headed for. It was Walter White. Thank you. It's not good at text. So this is sadly not the right thing for that. What I will do is I'll bring it into Photoshop and we'll put in the text for that. Yes. Okay. So David, are you good with that one? We're at 11:04. We've done half the show um, in this logo piece, and I'm going to be working now on an illustration for Airship 21. Airship 21, I'm going to add my logo up there for Airship 27. Airship 27, sorry, Airship 27. Airship 27 is a local group that does noir style, because I'm apparently on Noir Day today. Today is Noir Day. Does these really no problem at all, David. I'll go on ahead and save this up for you, and then we'll put the text in, and we'll work back and forth. If you need more logos, we'll just come back in, and we can do that. So, for Airship 27, I have this piece, which we've been working on. The underlying piece here is my sketch. This is my rough sketch. We've got two robots facing off from each other in this book. These are illustrations for a book. So we've got two mechanical robots that are facing off, and I just need to go on ahead and ink it in. So this is what I call my onion skin layer right here. And we've got a vector layer up here on top. So I'm going to go on ahead, and let's go ahead and start working this piece. Get my vector pins out, and my G pin, and put it in vector mode. We're just going to color along. Now, I'm not going to worry about my line width when I do this. What I really want is to make sure this looks mean. It doesn't look mean. It just looks bad. Where's my stabilization? I thought I'd put up stabilization on this. We are... Oh. Vector brush. So, I actually think I'm not happy with any of that, so I'm just going to get rid of the whole thing. There we go. Okay. Let's turn up my stabilization on this. So I'm turning up stabilization. The stabilization keeps my lines straight, even if my hands shake a little. So we're going to start over again on this, because I feel like... And then I can do it like that. So, there we go. It's all right. I'll be here every night for you. It was good to have you with me, my friend. I'll see you later. Don't let it get too hot out there, because I know that it's going to get hot in Korea. It was great having you here. You have a nice day too. Bye-bye. more on this side than that side. So I'm not feeling it. So. There we go. All right. So we're just putting in all of these. Same. That one same. This one won't. There we go. Just like that. And we're doing here. Sending in these guys. Big spider webs. Hi. Did you go to sleep on me? It. Yay for stabilization. Okay. So our scorpion back here is standing in this car over here. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Yeah, it's looking a lot better. Alright. Inking is not the most exciting thing ever. But I don't think anybody's actually on right now. So if you're on, pipe up into the system here and let me know you're there. And if so, I'll chat with you. There we go. Just there we go. Perfect. So we are moving along here, and what we've got going here is we've got Scorpion bot fighting big standy bot. I don't know. It's part of what this illustration is. So we're coming up now at 11:20. I'm going to go ahead and actually break early because I need to go pick up something from a friend's house. And so that's got to happen relatively soon. So we'll have to figure out how that goes. But wanted to go on ahead and get a little bit started on this one. There's a couple of things I want to fix in the original drawing, so we're going to have to go back through and adjust, like his hand. His hand looks really weird, so I want to fix his hand. It doesn't look like it's connected properly, so all the joints are kind of messed up in the hand or something. I don't know what's going on in the hand, so I have to figure that out. But we'll get there. It was an interesting day today. I really appreciated having David Coile on my show today. I appreciated my friend from Korea whose name I cannot read. But I'll be able to figure it out at some point in time. So there is that. I have a feeling this is just automatopoeia. So I don't think he's very sloppy. Our dear friend was not a very sloppy person, but that's okay. So that's a thing. Okay, so it's like dancing merrily or being happy. So it's a happy dance. Happy, happy, joy, joy. So our friend, Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy, who was on the show today, was cool. And it was nice to hear from Korea, even though it's 2 a.m. So time for Koreans and the Japanese and the Chinese to all head to bed. You guys shouldn't be up this late on this side of the world. That said, I will see all of you guys later. Catch my streams on replay on Facebook and on YouTube. And so you can always do that. And I will chat with you later. So I'm actually looking to see if I've got my, there we go. Want to help out? You can hit up my ko-fi.com/GSDavisArt and throw a couple bucks that way. You can hit me at patreon.com/GSDavisArt. You can find all of my artwork, as you can see, up here at the top of my screen, which is right here. Whoa, right there. You can hit me up. That's Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and DeviantArt. And then on the top, or rather that's Picardo. On the top there is DeviantArt and Patreon. So thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.